Hello and welcome all you internet peeps out there in the great big interwebs. This is Tashlan, Charlie the dog, Puddon Anpye the pussycats. We're all saying a great big hello to you, and today we are playing Prison Architect. Now, as you remember from last time, or if you don't, I'll remind you because I'm going to remind myself. We were starting to build the basic detention centre. We got as far as building a holding cell, and we built some showers. And I have been told that I'm far too soft on my prisoners, that why on earth am I giving them all these little luxuries? And you're quite right. They should be, locked up in a 1-by-1 cell, these evil people. But they're people, and I think people deserve space, and they deserve respect, even if they haven't earned it. They need the courtesy of human rights at the very least. Golly, that sounded far more deep than I intended it to sound. This is a game, people. Right, so let's stop that. Let's see what we're going to build next. The next thing on our list is to build a yard. Okay, so if we look at rooms and see if we can find the yard, there it is. What are the prerequisites for a yard? This one has a minimum size of 5-by-5, and it needs to be secure. In other words, there needs to be at least one door. It doesn't say it has to be indoors, and this does happen to be one thing that I like to be an outdoor space. This is a place where your prisoners are going to get their daily exercise, where they're going to have, be able to walk around, get a bit of fresh air. They don't need to be cooped up in another room. We all like our fresh air. I get mine regularly 3 times a day now, thanks to Charlie. And I love it. So, a yard. So what we're going to do, instead of building a building, we will build a fence. Should I plan what sort of size it's going to be, or do you think I should wing it? Do you know what? I'm going to wing it. Where will we put it? I usually sort of build this all in a line, and something's telling me don't do it. So what I'm going to do is get that going. I'm so insecure without my planning. Is we've got to allow for a corridor, and I kind of think a 3-wide corridor, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then here we would start something. What do you think? I do think let's bring this across. Oh, there we go, you see. So this is where the planning does actually help. If we keep that the same sort of width, I know we've narrowed it down there, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, because what we can do is we can actually get our little men to build a fence up to there, and we can sort of keep this secure without having too many fences. I want us to have a fence around our utilities, because we don't want the prisoners getting it into their heads to sabotage our utilities. So a fence there would be nice, with a staff door in there. So now I'll keep that fence there as planned. We'll put the yard, it needs to be 5-by-5, doesn't it? Oh, look at me making a mess. Right, so if I plan, let's have it as deep as that. we want it square? There, that looks a reasonable size, doesn't it? We'll put in a double jail door there, and that gives us room then. So if we want a corridor down here, maybe put our administration centre down this end, so we have our offices and our warden and all that sort of thing. That would be quite a good idea. We can even think maybe then put security, I don't know, I might put security over here. Just depends. At the moment, what we're doing is a yard. So now we're going to go to our materials, and let's get our workmen putting in these fences that we've planned. Can't be paying them to stand around looking pretty, can we? Oh, no, we can't. So we'll do that. And as I say, I'll put this fence in. Fencing is cheap, so that's why it's okay to put it in and then take it down and whatever else. If you're putting in a wall, that's more expensive, and a perimeter wall is prohibitively expensive and probably isn't something we're going to utilize in this initial prison. I'm going to bung in a large jail door like so, and then we'll go to our rooms and we will designate this as a yard. It's saying that it's not secure yet, but they haven't put the gate in, so they haven't put the fencing in either, to be fair. So yes, we'll let our little workers do their working, and while they're working we will work on the next thing, which is a kitchen and a canteen. Lovely. Now this is, as you can see, quite a small prison that we're starting off with, so we sort of are going to be thinking of a canteen that will serve all the prisoners rather than just one. Or should we just set off, as we started here, we've got 10 showers, haven't we? Set off with a canteen that will serve 10. Yeah, let's start small. We can always build more later, and then that will, yeah, says she, talking to herself. Lovely. Right, now, rooms. What does a canteen need? It has to be an indoor room. It requires a serving table. Or should we do in the kitchen first? Let's do the kitchen first. Again, indoors, it requires a cooker, a fridge, and a sink. Right, it doesn't have a minimum size there. So let's have a look at our objects, and let's open this up. Let's have a look at a sink. Now, how big is a sink? Now that looks to me like it's 3 squares. Yeah, 3 squares. And a fridge is 2 squares. Yeah, 2 squares. So we need to allow for, it could be quite narrow, this canteen, couldn't it? Just excuse me a moment, I'm losing my voice for some reason. All this talking. Okay, so let's plan objects first this time with the canteen. Now we'll stay in line with this shower, I think. I'm even thinking maybe just make this holding cell one bigger. Don't know. Not sure if I like the lack of symmetry, but then I don't know. We'll see. Will I go one up again? Let's be contrariwise and go one up again. So let's plan the world's weirdest door. Alright, so we'll have a door there for our canteen. And that dingling is, oh look, our yard is now complete. So, hey, go us! So now we need a sink. So that's 3. And we need, I need my chin licking apparently. What if I put a cooker and the sink like that? Well, the cooker and the fridge like that, because they're both 2. And the sink is 3. And that's a canteen. Small but perfectly formed. No! Egypt. Oh my goodness. I'm having an uncoordinated day, it appears. Right, and then that's our little canteen. Are we happy? Are we happy with that? Yeah. I think that works, because what I can do, we don't actually need a jail door for that, because that's staff. I'm not happy with that. Excuse me, losing my voice yet again. I'm going to change that there, because I want a little bit of a corridor, because what I'm thinking is we will put a single door there, and follow my thought processes, folks. What we will have is we'll have a corridor up here, and then this can be into the canteen. So this is where the planning comes in. Let's have a look at objects. Well, rooms first, because we were looking at what a canteen is. It needs a serving table, a table, and a bench. Right. So let's look at objects. Let's see if we can find our serving table. Right. So how big is that? Oh, that is quite big. That takes up 5. There's a serving table. And I think that the table and the benches will both take up 4 blocks. Yes, they do. So I think that's enough room, because we are only planning this little section for about 10 prisoners. We can, later on, we can change scheduling and that sort of thing, so we could say have 20 prisoners, but have them using those facilities at different times, because we can change it up between minimum and maximum. So they will, you want to keep them separate anyway, so that will work. So yeah, this is small but fully formed. Let's go back to our planning, and we will have, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be our serving table, and then we'd have 4 for a bench, 4 for a table, and then 4 for another bench. I mean, there's even, let's face it, room for another serving table if we really wanted to. So, could we do it this way? 3, 4 that way, and then fit another? No, not really. It doesn't really matter. I think we'll stick with the original plan. There. Yeah, I think that's adequate, and of course this will then have a jail door. I'll probably put a small jail door there rather than a staff door. Trying to think. Might have a staff door there as well, because eventually you do get to where you can have work detail for your prisoners, so we want them to be able to learn how to work in the kitchen. And if we have that, then we can have metal detectors and all this sort of thing. We haven't got any metal detectors at the moment. We will we will work on that. Okay, so I think I'm quite happy with that. So we'll go to foundations. We will do a concrete building, and I think if I put it alongside, then it won't destroy the wall that we've already built, but it won't build an extra wall. So here's hoping I'm right. Now we need an entrance in there, so let's put our large jail door. Okay, now the other thing that we need to consider here is that the sink is going to need water, and the appliances are going to need electricity. So let's go into our utilities. Now we do have a water pipe pretty darn close, which is good. So I will take this water pipe and move it along a little bit. we will then take these small pipes and we'll take them up here and across into there. And it's probably not necessary, but I usually make it a circuit. It does seem to help with the flow just a little bit. As far as electricity is concerned, we need to bring this cable down through here. That should be enough to get all of that working. And yes, we seem to have a... Oh. I'm like, why is that there? That's because I didn't tell them to put in a staff door. Hello, stupid. Okay, so that's the kitchen and canteen. So then the next thing, all that we need to do once this is done, is hire 2 guards and 2 cooks. Now I'm holding off on the hiring because once you hire staff, obviously that means that you start paying wages. At the moment we're paying for our 8 workers. But once we hire guards, we have to pay for guards. Once we hire cooks, we have to pay for cooks. Right now, we have no need whatsoever for guards or cooks. So we're not going to hire them until the building is done. I'm going to speed up these little men. They can work really fast when you speed them up. But can you see, I mean, we're on day 3 with this building. And if we'd have been having prisoners coming in, we'd have a lot of unhappy, unfed prisoners. And it would have been a terrible disaster. Well, not quite a terrible disaster, but it would have been very difficult for us. So now I'm putting in this interior wall. We're also going to our objects now, and we're going to put in our jail door. I like to zoom in a little bit with objects because it helps me with knowing that I'm putting them in the right way. Because when I first did this, I didn't even know you could rotate doors. I just thought, well, they just go in automatically. And we wanted a staff door here, didn't we? Yes. Okay, and now we're also going to install our sink. Does that look the right way to you? Yes, because that's where the draining board is and the tap. Okay, we'll pop that in and we'll put in our fridge. Now we're going to rotate our fridge and that way we'll do. And a cooker. And we're going to rotate that. So let's have it, yeah, like so. What I also want to do is I want to put in a bin. And I think that's the wrong way around. Let's put the bin in that way. Lovely. So then we'll go over here. Now, a bin isn't a requisite, but I do find that if you give them places to dispose of litter, they're more likely to use it. All right, serving table. And now a table, bung it in there, and then a bench on either side. La 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 la, lovely. And we're going to put in a bin here as well. Let's put it over there, like so. Ta-da. Right, so now we need to designate the rooms, don't we? So let's find canteen. Now, canteen is this one. And I'm going to take it down to there. And kitchen is this one. Da 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 ba-doo. There we go. Now the kitchen's freaking out at me because they haven't installed everything I've told them to install there. But once it's installed, that will be fine. So we've got the kitchen, we've got the canteen. What we need to work on now is making this secure so we can get prisoners to come into our holding cell. I don't know if you can hear, I've got a handful of kitties. Oh, so adorable. Okay, So what we need to do is we'll need some kind of fencing. I'm going to go into the planning and realise that, you know, we need fence there, and we need it there at least, don't we? That'll stop them wandering off. We also need some kind of secure entrance here, so I'm going to propose that we put a fence there and then a jail door in there. Would that be secure enough, do we think, to let our prisoners into the prison? I think for now that's about as minimum as we're going to get. So let's go to materials and let's get to building this little bit of fence and this little bit of fence and objects to poof in our large jail door. Now we're going to rotate that and we're going to put that in over there. Not the biggest of prisons, not the most secure of prisons, but a prison nonetheless. Right, and now we need to do some hiring of staff. We need our 2 cooks. 1 and 2. Ta-da! That's that done. And now we do need 2 guards. 1 and 2. And that's it. Do you see now that that's gone? We got our completion payment and we've built a basic detention centre. All good stuff, right? Okay, now are we going to work on our administration centre? We're still getting money coming in, so we technically don't need to bring prisoners in quite yet. I know it sounds bizarre, but let's work on the administration centre. So we need 2 offices, we need to hire a warden, we need to unlock finance through bureaucracy, and we need to hire an accountant. Now these 2 we can't do till we hire a warden. We can't hire a warden until we've built the offices. So where are we going with this, don't we? Okay, so rooms. Office. An office is a minimum of 4 by 4. It needs an office desk, it needs a chair, it needs a filing cabinet, and it needs to be an indoor room. Well, you know, that's a bit minimalistic for a room, don't you think? I mean, 4 by 4, that would be... I'm trying to think where we're going to put them. Don't want to put them right by the edge. What if we go here? I mean, that's a 4 by 4 room. That's the bare minimum. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with a 7 by 7 room. I've done that wrong, haven't I? Yeah. Did you guys all spot my deliberate mistake? So yes, we're gonna. There will be more offices, but these 2 will do for now. I'm going to go with the objects, and we will have a door. See why the 7 by 7? It's symmetrical. What we will also do is we will put a window in these, and it has to have a desk and a chair, and I'm not going to plot that out. We'll mess around with that once it's built, but I'm happy with that. And we're going to go with brick building because, you know, offices, they can be a little bit more pleasant, can't they? So we will do that, and our entrances now, instead of jail doors, are staff doors. So we'll put them in there, and we'll just go with a small window. We'll pop that in. It's not letting me do it. Maybe I have to wait till the walls are in. Some things have to wait until certain structures are done. Now, while our men are building that, there's no electricity down here, so it's back to the utilities. Now it's our electrical cable, and we will drag that down here and across into here, and we will let our little men do that. And I'm just looking at the time, and we've overshot my usual time by a little bit. So I think I will leave us at this. No, because my little brain's going, no, we need a wall, we need a wall, we need a wall. We'll put that wall in there and we will sort everything out the next time we're here. So with that little meow from Puddon and woofs and licks from Charlie and a sleepy little purr from Anpye and from me, you know I love you loads. Peace out, peeps.